I forgot to give me 1 second. I forgot to post on Twitter and TikTok, and I think I'm gonna go mute for a little bit. There's a bit of noise. Okay, audio back. Did I start the TikTok? No, I did not. Okay. Okay. What do you mean no sound detected? Mute audio, mute microphone, microphone is there. Okay. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, sorry about that, guys. There was a bit of noise coming. There was a bit of noise I had to deal with, so they don't want to capture all that. I'll bring down the mask here. The frame. I'm not having a good day. Well, at least a good streaming day. The rest of my day has been relatively okay. I can see, there's a noticeable lag on my drawing software. But hello everyone, welcome to the stream. Sorry about that earlier interruption, but we are back on track now. I hope everyone's having a great day. Today we are going to be working on Xavier's Chibi. I know I said I'd be working on these off stream, but yeah, been struggling to find time to work on everything and trying to readapt to having new things on my plate. Also started vlogging as well, so I'm beginning to learn how to juggle. I'm learning how to juggle. I'm learning how to juggle editing videos, and one of the things I really need to hop on is working on stuff for promos for my shop. So yeah, I need to start filming more stuff for that as well. And his eyes are roughly the same height. They're just different lengths. So okay. I think he is kind of throwing me off there too. But we're gonna go ahead and start drawing on some of Xavier's details. I will be drawing him with the mask on. I may not go in too much detail with the filigree and the stuff like that, but we will be getting, at the very least, the shape of the mask in. I don't know how detailed we can get to the mask, but we'll see. We'll see. Oh, sweet, I can minimize that. Okay, that's a lot better. Oh, TikTok. Okay, I was not able to minimize it as much as I thought I would be able to. But still working on Xavier's sketch. I think we are at a proportion for him that I feel comfortable moving forward with. I will add a little bit more detail to his face. He's got a lot of layers. He's got very layered, goofy hair. A little bit of a strand that kind of just kind of comes this way a little bit. I kind of don't like how jagged that is. I know I need a better reference picture of Xavier. Yeah, he's kind of got like one that kind of just inches downward. Everything is lagging. I see Windows just trying to push an update. This is not my Tuesday. At least not for streaming. And the other thing too, I was supposed to work on editing vlogs, and that didn't happen. Mainly because you'll see in the next vlog, or maybe not the next one, but this week's vlog. I've decided to start a sourdough project because I got tired of paying for it, and so decided to start making my own sourdough starter, which has been a learning process. This evening I made another loaf, and I don't like his hair. It does look like Xavier at the very least, I'd say. But I think part of it too, we need to get more details from his mask in. It kind of just edges downward. You kind of don't see the edge on the other side, so we won't bring too much of an emphasis on that. I think it's because I'm trying to make his hair too feathery to match up with the with how the illustrations appear. What will help is if I close a few tabs. His hair is pretty neat, so I think when I'm not gonna do like, well, I shouldn't say neat. He does have his few flyaways. Mm. I think I should do like larger sectioned areas and then add a little bit more texture from there. So for example, this could just be one larger piece. I can just add little tapers off to. I'll 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 keep that in mind when I go into the red sketch, because same thing here. This could be like its own little section. And then his mask, I think, pretty much does a dip on the bridge of his nose. And then it's pretty much just a pretty much does this. I think I should be doing this lower. There does seem to be a bit of the curve going this way before it goes down. And then for this side, because you do get a foreshortened view, kind of get the piece that kind of dips up here and then comes back down to those sharp edges. This is supposed to be higher than this curves out. Okay, but the detail should be roughly within the same height. There is no curve that does that there. His eye is too far from the bridge of his nose. That's what's been bothering. This needs to move more inward. Yeah, his proportions are something else that we will need to work on as we continue working on the sketches. Yeah. Okay, that's gonna be, put that down for a little bit and give him a few little more flyaways. Xavier's hair is so nice. There is some things that I do want to adjust with his proportions a little bit more. So, yeah, torso is still a little too long there, and his crotch should move up here somewhere. Okay. Yeah, you know what? Let's draw his body really quick before I draw his clothes on. And I know I said that, I don't think I mentioned it on stream, but I think, did I mention it on stream or did I mention it? Okay, I didn't mention it on stream. But I think part of the issue where I'm running into difficulties with my chibis again is that I'm trying to make them too realistic because I've been trying to apply the things that I've learned from my anatomy books to the chibis themselves, and I think that's partially throwing off their proportions when I come in to draw them in, because I'm trying to match it up too closely with the with basically I'm trying to make them match up with the realistic proportions of actual anatomy that I need to return to simple shapes when it comes to my chibis. And so pretty much just to help keep the proportions that I had originally wanted for them. But yeah, that's one of the things I've noticed is that because I'm trying to apply realistic proportions to them, they end up coming out taller than I intend for them, when I do prefer skinnier bodies and shorter. So his legs are gonna have to come up because those legs are definitely too long. And his I can't tell if his torso is still too long. I think we'll go with that. Gonna end up with the same proportions at this rate. I think that's fine. I feel like I need to bring up my. I think that is not on my computer. I don't think it is. It is not. Yeah, it's not on here. But you know what? I think it's gonna work either way. Because he's gonna have his tiny little legs here. I feel like his thighs are too thick. Yeah, there's still some things I need to work out with the body proportions because they aren't really coming out the way I want them to. Simple shapes. We need to stick to simple shapes with the Chibis. Let me get Zane. Let me get Zane and let me get Silas. I just need to compare the Chibis all together, and I need to see them side by side. The one that I need to see side by side are the first Chibis that I made, because I think those were much closer. Yeah, he's got long legs. He's got long legs. I think the legs are fine. The legs are probably fine, but my chibi proportions are definitely something that will need fine tuning. The ones that I really need to compare them to are to the Diamond No Ace Succubi Incubi series, because those were the first chibis I drew. Yeah, Raphael has a pretty long torso. Silas has a pretty long torso. Zane is just all covered up, so I can't really use him to gauge anything. But yeah, the Chibi proportions are something that I'm going to definitely have to work on, but I think we're fine. And I think Xavier is fitting in with the rest of them quite, given what I have. Mm, mm. Yeah, that's not this. Okay, yeah, that looks so weird. I can stay. The leg needs to go. Yes, more closer to there. Okay, his feet. That is a huge foot, Xavier. Okay, that's more like it. Okay, feet still too large, and we are going to have to draw his sword. I don't know why, but all I want to do is just sing Excalibur. Okay. Okay, that is a Xavier I can definitely work with. I can start drawing in his suit and his details, and like Zane, his details are going to drive me up a wall, aren't they? I'm going to go ahead and justify a red sketch, or now we'll stick to one more blue sketch because I see a few things in his face that could use a touch up. His head definitely can get a little bit smaller. A little bit smaller. Just a little bit. Maybe. I can live with that. Okay, let's go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and just keep his head and then draw on his clothes. Excuse me. Which reminds me. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. I think TikTok is still working fine. Alright. Okay. Brian had a fart. Yo, what was I doing? Okay. Oh, he does have like a little tassel. What is the tassel attached to? Are those earrings? Is that the mask? Xavier, what are those tassels? Anyway, I think mask. Actually, yeah, no, I'm not keeping the face. I'm gonna have to draw over it. I do need to make touch-ups to the mask. What's my pencil size right now? 8. And I think I'm also having issues with how far apart his eyes are, maybe. Okay. So let's see. Okay. Is that? Yeah, because I didn't foreshorten, or like I didn't really tilt his head all too well. Okay. 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 I think his eye on the side needs to shrink a little bit. It needs to keep the height, but it does need to scrunch up a bit more. I don't think he has a droop on his eye. It actually stays up pretty. Now for the mask, pretty much just follow the eye shape. Just needs to fall a little bit outside of the edges. There we go. There we go. I still feel like there's something a little bit off with his face. But his nose goes here. And then the tip of the mask goes there. I think we're gonna have to just draw, kind of like just show, because there is a pretty obvious dip, but that's because of where I didn't do a good. I think we're gonna bring in this side of his face a little bit more. Let me just move the sketch underneath it. Oh, that made a world of difference. That's not the piece I want to move. This is something I want to move. I don't want. I do want to squeeze it a little bit more, but transform. That's not what I mean. Oh yeah, that did wonders. That did a whole lot. Okay. Da 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 da. Then yeah, there's a bit of a higher. Okay, easy up on the pen pressure. Deselect the selected area. That would help a ton. Okay. Got a bit of a dip there, and then it does go in. Yeah, because I really am thankful for the mask because I would not have realized there was an issue with the angle of his head if it weren't for the mask. And then I can't really make out what the detail of the mask looks like from above. So we're just gonna do our best because it does wrap around his face and it's more of that. It's more of that. Yeah, that did a world of. I'm also feeling like this side needs to come closer a little bit more too. And then we will just keep going, going, going. I think that did it. That did wonders. That did wonders. Does anyone want to like the stream? I don't know. My performance on TikTok hasn't been doing all too well for a while now. It's like I feel like I should maybe potentially just focus on specific platforms instead of the height on this one. The other thing that bothers me too, it's too slanted. I don't think Xavier's eyes slant like that. Unless I'm... No, my canvas is not rotated. Yeah, because his eyes are not that slanted. Low-key, the eyes are pretty close. I just need to... Just gonna make my life easier. Because they should be roughly the same height. Okay, now let's go ahead and flip you. Don't mind his pupil. And we are going to go ahead. That is on scale rotate. We're going to do free transform and yeah, because let me erase this pupil before I start hating my drawing. There we go. And okay. Deselect. Blech. Wrong button. Bro. Yeah, he's beginning to come together. He's looking a lot better than I think this, yeah, this needs to merge down. This needs to come in. Yeah, that goes down here. Okay, so I said what I was going to do is focus more on shapes and then I'll fan it out because yeah, okay, yeah, let's get rough shapes in here and then just very lightly and then we we'll go in and add details because I do need guidelines because I don't know what his hair was doing just a while ago. Okay, got his shapes, and then because that part was bothering me. Oh, hair in my hair, my hair in my eyes. Okay, that is looking. He's beginning to look a lot better. Okay, now to begin adding in those little strays. And he still has that one strand that kind of hovers over the rest. Okay, but I think I'm beginning to like this shape for the chibi a lot better because the chibi is going to be a lot more solid lines. And this one, we can do one there, one up here. There we go, and there we go. Okay. Do one here, do one there, and then do a little slightly there. And then I feel like that needs a little bit more. I feel like you kind of lose a little bit of that natural feathering. Yeah, this is too long. We still have the red sketch, so I'll probably fix up a few more things in the red sketch. I don't know, I was drawing at my desk today, and in my sketchbook I have a tendency to draw in pen just for practice. And then I was doing my drawings. Like I'm slowly beginning to build my confidence when it comes to drawing with pen. But today I just kind of like I had like that regular or that regularly scheduled feeling of, do I even know how to draw? Like I was trying to draw my own chibi and I'm just like, I can't draw Skylar. I can't draw Skylar. It's been a while since I've drawn her too, though, but there are a couple of things I want to do because I'm trying to figure out a way to pretty much advertise the shop. And no, he looks terrible. Hopefully I have enough Control Z's to get me all the way to. Oh, he looks terrible. I forgot about YouTube. Okay, no one in chat. We're fine. We're fine. No one in chat. Okay, so I do not like the shape. Come on. Ooh, did I max out? Okay, no. I maxed out my undos. But, okay, shape. Focusing on shape didn't work, but I think if we focus on the shape a little more loosely, this time it'll come out a little bit better because he's got the right shape. But I think I kind of missed a little bit of the feathering that came with the looser brush strokes. I don't have water. Well, I do need to end stream soon, but I do want to get more of his hair. I've been baking all evening and I'm just so uncomfortably warm right now and I have a sweater on, so that's not helping. Okay. I think I'm just gonna have to fix his hair in the red sketch because I have no idea what's happening, but he is not cooperating. You know, I was gonna say I don't have a lad's boy whose hair gives me trouble yet. I think Xavier just I think Xavier just no, okay, no, I see what I'm doing wrong. God, I am uncomfortably warm. Give me 1 second. Pretty sure it has to do with the fact that I'm baking. Okay. A little bit better, maybe. I don't know yet. It's just been a very confusing winter on top of that. Yeah, because the problem with that shape is that this side of his hair curls inwards, and with that shape, you kind of lose that. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to fix his hair a little bit better during the red sketch. Why am I uncomfortably warm? I'm also thirsty. I'm also having a lot of just human errors right now. And it is 10 o'clock, so I probably should be calling the stream. Yeah, I'll call the stream in a few minutes because his hair from here is actually okay. Let's have his little ear, which does need to move closer to where his new cheek is. Okay, I'm gonna have to move his head again. Okay, and I'm gonna move the head up a little bit more. Okay. Yeah, because his neck was starting to get too low. I'm up a little bit more. And we're gonna at least... Xavier, please don't do this to me. Okay, he's got a bit of a neck thing, so it does wrap around his neck here. A little higher. Well, center's off by the hair, so a little higher. Like a little thing holding it together there. A little bit of a gray. And then you have a bit of he's got something here acting like some sort of tie. It's like a series of embroideries. And then you have his coat jacket. Okay, it's got interesting lines. But essentially a regular coat. Okay, I accidentally color picked a color that is not my blue. That does come up to his chest. And then he has sometimes I look at the costume designs for this game and I'm just like, what is that line? What is that line supposed to be? That's an interesting. Okay, because that disappears behind the neck. This doesn't, that's not, okay, no. Bad angle, bad angle, bad angle. Yeah, because that won't show up here. Okay, that's literally gonna get covered by the neck, but you do get a little bit of that detail, but that doesn't go perfectly over his chest. Okay. Did it rain? Has it rained? I'm thirsty. I'm a mess of a human being. Let's be honest. I'm a mess of a human being. Okay, but anyway, because you do have that thing here that goes into, that's going to be part of the color. There is that little curve thing that kind of goes into his arm. Realizing this might be a little too long, so bring it in a little bit more. Okay. I'm gonna change the color. This is just starting to bother me. Okay. That was starting to bother me. Then he's got like the little sash thing that begins from up here. So he's got the little sash thing and it crosses over to this side of his body. I did not get a good reference for Xavier. I'm gonna have to get another one. I don't know where that. What is his costume? Oh, this is gonna be like Zane. I thought it was gonna be simple because it looked like just a formal coat, like a military style coat. I thought it was gonna be easy. No, no, he's gonna be a repeat of Zane. It's gonna be a bunch of lines I don't know where they're supposed to go. This is what Xavier's turning into. Sir, where do all these lines go? And I know you probably can't see it, but I do have a reference of Xavier pulled up. And his, it's one of those things that I'm beginning to look at his costume and I'm realizing there are a lot more details in here than I thought, like most of the myth costumes. But it's also a bunch of lines that I don't understand. And I'm also looking at it from the other angle. Like, it's... Do I still have it? Okay, still have it. Probably just got a quick little low res. Dear Lord, I need to go to bed. Anyway, so... Okay, not as bad. That's not the one I'm using. Okay, I'm just gonna do this. Control Z, Control V. Okay, so this is the reference I'm using for Xavier. And so for one, I pretty much have full view of this side of his body. So where I'm getting tripped up on is what is this part of his collar doing? Because this comes down from the side of his neck and then curves in, so... Oh god, okay, that's why I felt like he was too wide. Okay. Chest needs to come in more. Arm, hide behind, okay. 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 Alrighty. Okay, so I think chest needs to come in a little bit more. And the rest of his body isn't gonna get affected as much as I'll think it will, because it'll be fine if this just follows a straight line and just curves back down into his body. Okay, that's fine. His collar is throwing me off though. I think I just need to get I need to find a reference where he's facing forward. I know I'll get a better idea of what's going on if when he's facing forward. Because that is gonna go disappear. No, because that is up here. This comes down here, so you do get like a little bit of fabric on his neck. And then this little curve thing attaches from his shoulder, and then it goes here, I think. And this is why I have sketches up the wazoo, because And then the way, okay, so this is kind of what's tripping me up about it, is that I can't see the line under this sash. So I can't see the line under this sash. So I don't know exactly what's going on with this coat, because there are, if this isn't just a collar, that means he's got 3 layers on him. The layer from wherever this collar is coming from, unless this is just a collar, in which case he's got his shirt and then he's got his jacket. And the part that's kind of throwing me off about this is that I can't see the line that runs under this sash. So I have no idea what this part of the collar is even doing. Like, maybe it just tucks under and then this is the line for the coat. We'll go with that logic. Yeah, we'll probably go with that logic. So that means that's going to be, and then you have this entire embroidered area, which means this is going to have to be smaller because that takes up a good portion of the chest. And then sash, I think less of a curve, and then we'll open up this area a little bit more. And then the blue sash, I want to assume it goes, I just need a better Xavier reference for Lumiere. One where his arm doesn't cross over his body, that would be great. Yeah, just need a forward-facing reference of Lumiere. Okay. Found it. Thank you, Reddit. Okay. Okay, that is infinitely better. Huh. His jacket really is interesting. It's got some very interesting lines. And I don't think it closes at the center. Okay. I have a better reference for Lumiere now. Let me just go ahead and save it before I lose it. And I'm going to go ahead and call the stream here. And let me just save this image really quickly. God, my ref folder's all over the place. But yeah. Beginning to get more detail onto Xavier. His hair is going to need work, and I think now that I have a front-facing reference that I can work with, it'll be a little bit easier. I feel like his head's a little flat. But anyway, slowly starting to get detail into Xavier, and then hopefully next time we'll be able to revisit Caleb, because I want to get both of their sketches roughly to the same point before lining them. So yeah. That's going to be it for the stream for the evening, and thank you everybody for joining me, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Good night.